I strongly suspect that my parents are setting up a surprise arranged marriage for me behind my back. So I am from India and my parents are very traditional, whilst I am the black sheep of the family. I don't really look like a lot of my family and have always gone against the grain in terms of their views. I have always told them I do not want an arranged marriage, that my wife will not be my property, as they like to put it. When I was 15 I figured out that I wanted to own a business and wanted time to pursue this goal of mine, alluding to the fact I didn't want to get thrown into marriage at 18. It was not what my parents wanted. They wanted to marry me off as soon as I became of legal age and did not care about my career. We fought a lot over this, but finally came to an agreement. That in 10 years if I was not in a happy and content relationship, they could marry me off. Over the 10 years, I've had some flings, but nothing serious which stuck. Also, up to this point, I've been very driven to get to where I am now. I run a business, I am stable, self-sufficient, with no debt, and becoming successful in my eyes. There has been no talk about arranged marriage throughout the years, and I thought it was forgotten. Until recently my older sister said she was coming back this week for an event. She lives several states over. I don't get to see her as much anymore. We are close and talk a bunch. But all has been normal with nothing being said or hinted to at this point. I went to pick her up from the airport and noticed she had 3 fancy dresses. One was a very traditional dress used for engagements, weddings, or other similar events. The other 2 were really formal dresses. When I questioned it, she said don't worry about it, then later said it was for an agreement. She used the word agreement. I dropped her off at our parents' house and they wouldn't let me in the house. But there were a bunch of cars and I saw decorations in the house. They kicked me out and said they would talk to me later. This was 2 days ago. Now they invited me to dinner for Thursday and told me to dress like I was receiving a reward for all my hard work. It is driving me crazy that I'm basically being blocked out and I'm nervous about what Thursday holds. The only agreement I can think about is the arranged marriage. I asked my sister again if that was what it is about, and she said not to worry too much about it, but then added that our parents do notice things and keep track of time. These are all odd comments that are making me paranoid. I strongly suspect that my parents are setting up a surprise arranged marriage for me behind my back. So the day after I posted, I got off work early and sat down with my sister to talk. I knew I could crack her if I put on enough pressure, and I got her to talk. She said that the original plan that she knew of was that my parents were going to do the forced marriage. I told my parents that they needed to come over to my place. They wanted to blow me off, but after some choice words, they came. I asked them what was happening. They tried to deflect and deny. I eventually told them that I would not get married or engaged unless I wanted to. I know we made an agreement, but terms have changed. If they wanted to force the issue, I would go to the engagement party with someone else and act way out of character. I will also be very disrespectful and bring dishonor to our family. Then I would cut them off and go no contact. Of course, they did not like that. They tried to say I wouldn't do that again and went on for a bit. I finally asked if they wanted to risk it and if they wanted to see and test me. In the end, they were still very vague and said I would not be forced married or engaged. They promised it would be my choice in the end. They said to trust them. I laughed and said right now my trust is 0. They pleaded with me to just show up, and I said I would. I wanted to bring a backup girlfriend, a girl I knew from childhood and maintained contact with all throughout, just in case I needed to lie and say I was in a serious relationship. But she could not come, thanks to family obligations. So the day of, I dressed nice but not traditional or overly fancy. I parked in a way that would allow me a quick getaway if needed. I walked into their house, and there were maybe 60 people. My sister noticed me first and then guided me to our parents and they were talking to some old family friends. As the party progressed, I started to relax. When I ran into the girl that had family obligations. Her parents were the ones that my parents were talking to basically the whole time. She was told to come at a later time than I was. We got to talking, and we put 2 and 2 together. We noticed both parents kept looking at us and smiling. We both had an oh crap moment. The worst part of this whole thing was they made speeches about 2 families coming together. Hopefully this is the start of a happy relationship. By this time next year, we might be grandparents. That last one made me mad. I definitely felt like they were putting pressure. So I did say that in the end it is our decision as individuals if we decide to see each other, date, get married or have children. That did not go over well. We had a duty and responsibility to listen, respect and obey them. I told them that that way of thinking is old-fashioned and outdated. Times have changed. My sister stepped up and had our back. She also said that the times are changing and that our life is our life. She also said that most of the people in the room are unhappy in their marriages and are hypocritical in their ideals about marriage. Specifically, she called out like half of the people in the room. That is also when she took the opportunity to announce she was getting a divorce like most of them should instead of being unhappy and resentful in unfulfilled marriages that others pushed on them. Some drama and big arguments later, my sister, the family obligations girl and I left early. We all went back to my place and spent the rest of the night talking and ignoring our phones. My sister apologized about hijacking our party and taking the spotlight. The drama and fallout has been rough. But Kay and I have been talking and hanging out. Like I said previously, we used to be good friends. We caught up a bunch, and she was telling me that she is moving back to the area for a job opportunity and would like to hang out more. As much as I hate the circumstances of our reunion, I really like her. I think I might ask her out officially. She has to go back and finish up her moving process, but she is an amazing woman. Our views and opinions about most things align. We have good conversations and debates over silly topics. It has been like we are both teens again. As for my sister, she said her and her husband have been separated for a while now because he is not loyal and made vows he and his PP didn't keep. She also apologized for the deception and the blow up again. This has made us closer as siblings. I dropped her off at the airport the other day. We have also been talking daily. As for me, I might move slightly farther away. I'm also in low contact with most of my family and people from the party. I also had to unload people who I thought were my friends. That has been rough.